Some big Toronto construction projects will be delayed as thousands of construction workers are walking off the job. For more on this, we go live to CP24's Beatrice Faisman. Tell us about what some of the issues are.
Money, Chanel, that's the biggest point of contention between the workers, the union, and the managers, really. And so here we have 15,000 skilled construction workers now off the job as of today. Joining me now to talk more about this, I've got Richard Lyle. He's the president of the Residential Construction Council of Ontario, also known as RESCON. Richard, I know the best case scenario would have been to avoid this strike, but here we are. What's your biggest concern?
Well, my biggest concern is with respect to housing supply. You know, during COVID, we were declared an essential service for the right reason. Housing is a need. COVID really knocked the heck out of our supply chains and our productivity. So, you know, there have been delays as a result of COVID, and, you know, we need the housing. People need to move in, and so we're ultimately principally worried about our buyers and new renters too, I might say. And then, of course, you know, I will say during COVID, the entire industry really came together and worked really well. So, you know, this is a little upsetting that we're at this stage right now.
I know you kind of sent out a note to members, it was on Friday, saying you were not optimistic that a deal would be reached. How did we get here, Richard, and what kind of pressures did COVID add not only on these workers, but on the employers, the managers as well?
Oh, huge pressures right down the line. First of all, you know, we were the first industry to come out with a COVID protocol, so there was the pressure of actually dealing with COVID and working through it. We were very successful with that. Then we had the supply chain pressures, and many of our material costs have gone right through the roof. Now, we view that as temporary, but it's still a reality now. I think a lot of people are kind of tired too, and not necessarily having the patience that they might otherwise have. And then there's the confusion with the economic situation right now. Things are roiled across the board in markets, some very unusual inflationary developments. So it's really a perfect storm economically to try to negotiate a deal in. Now, having said that, we have had a number of settlements in the sector. There's been about 8 or 9 settlements, because remember, there's about 30 different bargaining groups here that are engaged in bargaining over the residential sector. And currently we're waiting for an arbitration decision on 3 important agreements later today that affect the direct employees of builders. So hopefully that will you know, kind of set the pattern, and we can get things back on track in the very near future.
You touched a little bit, Richard, on what this means for housing projects. Paint a picture for us, though, when it comes to delays. What should some people who might have invested in pre-construction condos or homes, for example, expect in terms of delays and deadlines?
Sure. Well, you know, the projects, there's a difference between high-rise and low-rise. So high-rise is a little further out. And if it's a short strike, then I think we should be able to get those schedules pretty much close to back on track. Low-rise, a little bit of a different story because, you know, we have had the delays right across the board, but it's a little different depending on the type of product that's being produced. The other complicating factor with a strike is that, yeah, you can have a strike for, you know, any number of, say, weeks or days, but it takes an additional amount of time to get the schedules back on track again because everything gets upset. So it does create a challenge. So if you've got a 1-month strike, then you're looking at you know, like a 2-month delay, possibly even longer, especially given our supply chain circumstances right now, which are very difficult.
Richard, we've run out of time. I just have one thing I want clarity on from you. How long can a strike go on before these workers are mandated back to work?
So what we've done in the industry is we have a system in residential construction, given the complexity, given the amount of players involved, given the potential for, you know, things to go wrong. We have a 6-week strike lockout limitation that we've had in place for 20 years. It works now because it works well because it prevents things from getting a little crazy. So that would be the maximum strike period or lockout period. over that period of time. And then remember, as I said, it takes a while to get things back on track after that. But I'm hopeful we're not going to be faced with that in this situation.
Yeah, let's hope a deal is imminent. Richard Lyle, president of Rescon, thanks for your time.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Chanel, I'll send it back to you.
Beatrice, thanks so much.